Hey, Kevin, congratulations.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that.
What did you think of the way your team played in this series, these two games, and the opportunity that's now in front of you?
Well, they played well to beat that team twice like that. Tight ball game yesterday. Fortunate to separate a little bit early today. We pitched extremely well. The defense, we pride ourselves so much on defense, and it really showed up over the last 2 days. And the opportunity that's in front of us it's where you want to be. We're going to take a day probably to rest, get back after it with some sim innings, stuff like that. But very excited to be heading to San Diego.
Do you feel like you have the momentum that you talked about wanting to have going into this? I would assume it's just continued.
Yeah, that's exactly what it has. I mean, every win in the postseason is that much more. We played good right at the end of the year, and got where we needed to be from a pitching standpoint. And now it is try to ride that wave of momentum, and these guys do an unbelievable job at creating that.
Kevin, the offense as a whole was very impressive, but Hunter Renfroe's grand slam, of course, stands out. How impressive was that, and how happy were you to see him specifically be able to do that?
Yeah, Hunter, what a day. And, Hunter's going to play a big role in this, and you can wash out what's taken place this season. We value him in our lineup, and certainly against left-handed pitchers, we know how talented he is, and he showed it today. I think him and Z, they were big hits, and big hits for us and big hits for them. Z has looked good at the plate here as of late, and for Hunter to really put the game into that state at the point was huge.
Hey, Kevin, congratulations.
Thanks, Juan.
Was there kind of any message to the guys after, or did it just kind of let them be excited and know what they kind of accomplished here?
Yeah, I think it's probably let them have the messages. They recognize what they've accomplished. And no, I don't think a message is really needed right now. Let them enjoy themselves under the correct guidelines, and I'm confident we will.
Kevin, and what did you think of last night? What was kind of bothering him there in the middle innings?
His hip or quad and hamstring was kind of cramping up on him. And we noticed after, I think he struck a guy out, he kind of went to stretch it just off the mound, and that's not what you want to see a pitcher do. But he assured Joe Benj and I that he was good. He actually felt better the last 2 innings. And as far as besides that, he was outstanding for us. I mean, really, really good. You take away the 2 home runs by Jansen, that's all you could ask out of him.
Kevin, we've been over this ground in the past, but if you look on the back of baseball cards, there are not a lot of guys on this team with eye-popping stats. What is it that makes this team so formidable?
Well, I think, like we've said, I know we have very good players first and foremost, and I understand the back of the baseball card stuff. And some of our guys are not as established. You look up in 5, 6, 7 years from now, they're going to have some really impressive numbers. What we do have and what makes them formidable is that the entire roster is used to help us win games, and we do that consistently during the season. We're definitely going to do it in the postseason. And in comparison to other clubs, everybody gets there a different way. Our way is what we think with the shape of our roster is going to be most beneficial to us winning games, and credit them for their buy-in to that approach and understanding that if we're allowed, we think that we can help them, put them in positions for success and for them to make the most of their opportunities, and they have.
Kevin, a little bit feeding off of that, in that buy-in that starts from the bottom up with this team. You got a guy like Hunter who, like you said, didn't maybe have the numbers this year, but you have the luxury of having him come off the bench. With this system and the way you guys build this organization from, it may not be every day, but you're going to get your opportunities. How dangerous does that make a club like yours that truly, you can say buy-in, but this team truly does have that buy-in?
Well, hopefully it makes us very dangerous. And I think that's a credit to the players that were already here. I think that's a credit to the coaching staff. They do such a good job communicating. And our front office, they're pretty clear on how they lay things out. And this is what we think. And can we change off that? Yeah. But we try to give them upfront, honest thoughts when it all gets started and be as consistent as possible with them.
Kevin, I know he didn't have a hit today, but Yandy Diaz reaching twice in his first game back from the hamstring issue. What makes Yandy so prepared when I mean, like last year, he missed most of the second half and then comes back with the big 2-homer game in the wild card. How is he able to do that? Why is he the guy that can do that?
Well, I think he is, and I also think G-Man is, and that's why there's such big parts of our lineup, our roster. They both have very simple swings, very short to the ball. You know, some guys need a little bit more tune-up, a little bit more timing. Those two guys, they're just very direct. Their path to the baseball allows them to be on time very consistently. And, you know, was Yandy going to go do what he did in Oakland? Probably not. That's not fair for any of us to expect. But for him to get on, I do agree with you. It just shows how talented he is.
Hey, Kevin, I know that wasn't a typical situation, or when you'd use Nick, was that the idea to get him the back-to-backs?
No, it was just the idea that enough. We're gonna go with our guy and get this thing done.
Gotcha. And then I want to ask you your preference, but will you be watching that game tonight to try to get a sense of who you're going to be playing next?
I'm sure we'll be watching it just because we're going to probably get together and enjoy, you know, whatever it is. I'll enjoy a cheeseburger or something.
But you obviously, you know, one of the teams, the other team you haven't seen that much.
No, yeah, and I don't know what's better. Probably best just to let it play out, and then we'll certainly have thoughts and be prepared for whichever team it is.
Right. Cheeseburgers are allowed. I just checked the manual.
Yes, they are.
Okay.